So, does Miki remind me of a dog or a child? Hello and welcome back to the couch. We saved you a seat. My name is Luke and today we're checking out chapter 2 of Rogue Protocol. It's the third book in the Martha Wells Murderbot Diaries series. Yes, we're doing a chapter by chapter reaction and review. We love the characters. We're going to jump into it in a second, but if you want to follow along, you can click the link in the description of this video and buy the book, buy the previous books, start from the beginning. You can do all that. If you want to support the channel, we have memberships. It's about $2, and it'll help me get a cup of coffee, or make the content better, or have cooler guests, or do more book stuff. So that's where we're at right now, but we're going to get started with this chapter. So I love all of this chapter. This chapter was really cool. It was very long, very narrative driven, but very, very cool, right? Let's start with the end because I think that's the most important. We're introduced to Miki, a bot. And Murderbot and Miki, I feel like they either have like a parent and child, or a parent and dog child, or whatever kind of relationship. It's an interesting construct, this bot. Construct's the wrong word, but it's an interesting character, this bot, right? Because it's like worse at everything. It's worse at being human. It's worse at lifting. It's worse at security. It's worse at everything. And it's different. I don't know how to feel about Miki other than I get this kind of like father-son feel, mother-daughter feel. This is going to be Murderbot's tool, but it's gonna end up liking it. And what's cool about the bot is it has like a customer service feel to it, almost like Murderbot's so surprised by how the humans treat Miki. The humans were treating it like it's a person, like it's a thing, like it's in. And I got that sense too, that even Girth and Wilkins were kind of surprised at Miki's presence. I'm super interested at what this tool is, what it represents, because Miki is a tool for the humans. I mean, it's just a bot. It's not a construct. It doesn't really have anything that's super strong in, except for Murderbot thinks it's super nice. And it's like kind and good. And it's interesting. And it's a welcome addition to the cast. I really kind of like it. I can't wait to see in the next chapter, but it's also cool that Murderbot is utilizing it to track feeds, track the other humans. I love Murderbot's sort of story that it's provided to Miki to let it know that, yo, I'm another security consultant, but they don't need to know that. We need to track what they're doing, and I'm just a higher level version, and Miki's on board because Murderbot made it. Be on board. We also had the other conversation that happened, and this one I think is kind of big. Honestly, I think this is maybe the most interesting conversation that we've seen between humans and augmented humans in the books so far. This one right here. And we're talking about between Abin, between Haroon, and between the two people, Girth and Wilkins, and Miki's there too. But Abin and Haru are representatives from Goodnight Lander Independent. It's GI. We're just going to call it in short. GI is the company that took over for GrayCris, and their conversation had a lot of interesting subtext here, right? What I like about this book and this book series is there's no good guys. There's no bad guys. There's just intention and reality and cause and effect, right? Murderbot is our primary. He's our main character. It's our main character, but it's only acting out of its own code, which is to protect people, protect things. That's Murderbot's whole thing, mostly humans. And I mean, outside of that, it likes watching TV, but protecting things are what kind of drives a Murderbot to continue forward with its own goals and ambitions, whatever those ambitions are. It's hard to say that a construct has ambitions, but they are, I guess, technically ambitions. Regardless, the conversation between Abin and Haroon and Girth and Watkins is interesting because there's so much subtext, right? They're on the outside ring station thing above Milu. And Milu is the place that GrayCris left in a hurry during the Terraform project. And Girth and Wilkins are being sent as security consults to check out the safety of the area, right? They don't have a ton of resources. GI doesn't, because GrayCris didn't leave them any. But the most interesting part here, and we already know that GrayCris is shady, is we're sending humans, augmented humans maybe, down to the planet, not sec units, because sec units are too expensive. And Girth and Wilkins know this. So they ask out loud, are there any, and they use the word biologics, are there any biologics? And Abin and Mirun, with the help of Miki, are like, nah, there's no bacteria. No dangerous bacteria. And Girth and Wilkins are like, yeah, but like, are there any monsters? I mean, they don't say monsters, but essentially they're looking for monsters. And Abin and Hirun are like, no, I mean, we haven't detected any, and we would detect some if they were, Terranian, but if they're subterranean, they would show up too, so, whatever. Or something to that effect, right? They're claiming that it's safe-ish, but we just need to send you down there to make sure that it's safe. We're paying you to do that. Boy, does it feel like they're Star Trek red shirts. These feel like two goons. If you ever played Final Fantasy, there's always the Biggs and Wedge character, specifically in Final Fantasy VIII, if you're old enough to know what I'm talking about. Biggs and Wedge are these kind of goon characters that get clowned on the entire time. These two security consultants feel like that in droves. So I love this conversation. Once again, it's my favorite conversation that doesn't include Murderbot in the entire book series so far, the first 3 books, because of the subtext, because of the political intrigue, because of where they are, right? They're on this station outside of a planet or in the system of this planet that is so far out that there's not a ton of humans near them. Even Murderbot talks about earlier in the chapter, and in chapter 1, about how kind of barren and less trafficked this area is intentionally, right? And we know that the ship that Murderbot arrived on was waiting on these 2 dudes to show up. That's exactly what happened. So this project's been on hold until these 2 guys have gotten there. Very interesting. Very interesting. This chapter was kind of long, but I'm going to jump into the predictions part of this video because I love the predictions and I love talking about these things. So I'm thinking the 3 characters that are going to continue into the next chapter and the following chapters. We've got Wilkins and Girth. Wilkins and Girth, I think they're either going to surprisingly live or surprisingly die. Either way, Murderbot's going to be like, oh, of course they died, or oh, wow, they lived. It's going to be great. We're going to have Miki involved. I don't know how much more involved Miki is going to be in terms of beyond this book, but I really like Miki. I like Miki. It's gonna make me sad if this ends with Miki being destroyed because it's so nice. But that would be a pretty standard sci-fi story where nice guys finish last, or they give themselves up for other people. It might be part of its code that its whole job is to protect the ideals of this company, this GI company. So we'll see. I don't think it's like the sex bot. You see, what's interesting to me is I see Art and Miki and the sex bot from the previous books. I see them as feminine, female. The way they interact with Murderbot, you've got the femme fatale with the sex bot, and you've got the older sister or best friend, girl best friend version that is Art, and then you've got a partner that is Art, female partner. It's very the emotional, intellectual knowledge, the emotional maturity of Art screams female to me. I'm a dude. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, Miki strikes me as a little girl. It just seems like that's the case. Not a little girl, but like young, 12, 15, and less maybe emotionally mature, but definitely good, like genuine, good, supported. It's going to be interesting. That's how I view it. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Obviously, some of you probably read the book a little further than I have. But yeah, I'm thinking those two dudes are going to get red-shirted. Either they're going to surprisingly live or surprisingly die. I'm thinking there's going to be things on this planet that are crazy. And I think there's going to be sec units down there. Either roaming or not roaming. Because I want Murderbot to get his armor. And the only way that Murderbot's going to get the armor is if Murderbot runs into supplies or other sec units that are like that. So that'll be interesting too if Murderbot gets the armor back. Let's see. But yeah, that's where I think we're going. And we're going to see the four of them on the planet. Maybe Miki stays off planet. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. But we got to start getting adversaries for Murderbot that are stronger than augmented humans, physical, confrontational adversaries that are stronger than Murderbot, that are better than Murderbot. We saw in the first book Murderbot outwitting, outsmarting other sec units, has a capacity to do so with that governor module turned off. I'm interested to see if we get that in this book, because we didn't in the last one. The last one was like a detective noir Western feeling thing. This is a little bit different. It feels like we have Murderbot's a spy in this one. Murderbot, it feels like Murderbot's getting, this is more like a spy novel where it's like so I'm pretty interested in that. Yeah, this is a long chapter and I think you will enjoy it. If you got to the end of this video, thank you. If you would like this content, please like and subscribe and share. And remember, we have memberships, so if you'd like to join and support the couch and what we're doing here, that would be great. Regardless, if you stay this long, we appreciate it. So, till next time, later, taters.